This is day 9 of Piecewise Functions with Mr. Taylor.
Hey guys, welcome back. If you're looking in your note packet, you'll notice there's a day 8 in there. We skipped that. It didn't work out too well, so we're going to jump to day 9 instead, and hopefully it'll flow right along for you guys. So if we're talking about what piecewise function is, it's really just pieces of functions. So you're going to see as we're graphing these, sometimes the function might be a piece of a line, it might be a piece of a quadratic and kind of have that U shape, maybe part of an absolute value and have part of that V shape. It doesn't really matter. We're just going to do different parts, and it's going to be over different domains. So the first one, the first function, and then it will tell us what domain it's going to be over. And then we're going to have a second function, possibly even a third function, with another domain. And we're going to kind of walk through how it is we're going to handle that. So if we look at this first one, this is going to be a linear function. Remember, linear is written in y equals mx plus b. With that in mind, m is our slope, and b is our y-intercept. Alright, so if we look at this first one, there is no y-intercept here. So we know that our b or our y-intercept is 0. That means I'm going to start right here at 0, 0. Our slope on this, or our m, is -2. If we wanted to write that as a fraction, we could just say -2 over 1. That lets us know we go down 2 over 1. So if I'm going to go ahead and graph that line, let's just start with only the dots. Do not connect any of them yet. So we'll go down 2 over 1. It's as far as I can go this way, so let's work our way back the other way by going backwards. It would be up 2 over 1. Up 2 over 1. Now here's the important part. This domain right here lets us know where to connect the lines. If we think of this less than or equal to sign as an arrow, I want everything left to the left of 0, including 0. So here's 0. I want everything to the left, so I'm going to make my line like this. I want everything to the left, so I'm going to make an arrow so it keeps going. But again, it tells me to stop at 0. So right there I'm done. If you happen to have an eraser, you did this in pencil, go ahead and erase that last dot. If you don't, it's not a big deal. Just leave it there. If we take a look at our second equation, again, this one, there is no y-intercept, so our b is 0. Our slope is really, there's a 1 over 1 in there. So if we start at 0, same place we started our first one, this one says we move up 1 over 1. Up 1 over 1. And again, I'm going to do that until I can't make any more. And let's go the other way just to make sure. Alright? We look here at our domain. I want everything to the right of 0. Again, just think of that as being an arrow. I want everything to the right of 0. And with the equal then underneath, it means I also want to include 0. So here's 0. I want everything going this way that's on my graph. So I want all of these points, and I want it to keep going. And again, if you did this in pencil or you didn't, go ahead and erase those. If you can't, it's fine. Leave them there. Just make sure that your graph looks like this. This is our piecewise function. This is our first piece in red. This is our second piece in green. So piecewise function. Not worried about the bottom part. We kind of took care of that when we talked about what these were. So if we look at this one, our slope for this one, again, another linear. This is a linear, looks a little different. We're going to talk about that. That was from day 6 that we did earlier. The slope of this is 3. If we want to write it as a fraction, we can put it as over 1. My y-intercept is -2. So let's start there. We started our -2. 1, 2. Our slope is 3 over 1. So we go up 3 over 1. Oh, it'd be maybe somewhere up there. Go the opposite way. 1, 2, 3, 1. That'd be our bottom. Take a look at our domain. We want everything that is to the left of where x is 1. So if we go x is 1 is right there, that's my point. I want everything to the left. So I'm going to make that line. That's going to keep going, but remember to stop at 1, because that's where it says to stop. If we look at our other one, We talked about this. This is really y equals 1. If you remember that from our vertical and horizontal line unit, this is going to be a horizontal line that goes through where y is 1. So if we look at that, y is 1 right here. So it's going to be a horizontal line. So it's going to look like this. Then we go back and check our domain. We want everything to the right of 1. So here's where x is 1. That's my graph. I want everything to the right. Okay? And again, if you have the luxury of doing that, go ahead and erase your other points. You don't have to because your line should be right there. Again, piecewise function. Here's the piece of the first function. Here's a piece of the second function. What I'd like you to do, take a second, pause the video now, and see if you can handle this last one on your own. Break it down into 2 pieces, remember your domains, and go ahead and graph it. Alright, welcome back. Hopefully that wasn't too bad. So, let's take a look at this first one. Again, these are both linear equations. They're both linear. So they're going to form us nice straight lines. This one, my slope is 2. And we'll put that over 1. Again, it just makes it a little bit easier. And my y-intercept, or my b, is 1. So that's where we start. We start at 1. So we're going to go down up here at 1. My slope is up 2 over 1. So I go up 2 over 1. Up 2 over 1. Make sure we go the other way as well. Alright. According to this, I want everything to the left of 2. But here's the tricky part. There's no line under here, which means my number cannot be equal to 2. It can only be at 2. So if we fall over here at 2, that can't be a solid point. We need to make sure that that's an open point, because it can't actually be equal to 2. All the rest are okay, so we can go ahead and make our line going to the left. So there's our first one. If we go with our second one, our m is negative 1 over 2. So again, down 1, then over 2. Our b is 4. So if we start at 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to go down 1 and over 2. So down 1 over 2. Down 1 over 2. Down 1 over, so maybe somewhere there. You don't have to put that one because it's not actually on a graph. And remember, we want everything that goes to the right of 2. So everything to the right. This time we are going to include the number 2 because it's equal to. So this will stay positive. This is 2. We're going to go to the right. Again, if you can, go ahead and erase that last one. That would be it for piecewise functions. This should set you up to solve day 9 for piecewise functions. If you're feeling ambitious, this will also take care of day 10. The day 10 video is going to be a lot quicker, just going through and answering the videos. Good luck to you guys. Hope you get it done.